You are watching Wyrd, a weekly live stream featuring survival horror, science fiction, and fantasy authors Alan Gamboa, Scott Baker, Rich Restucci, and Hadley Thorne. They get together to discuss, debate, and dissect the latest new movie releases, personal recommendations, and their week-by-week after viewing responses to a current streaming series. Like, follow, and subscribe to Wyrd Realities on all our social media at Linktree. That's linktr.ee/Wyrd Realities, and that's Wyrd with the Y. Be sure to check out our webpage and subscribe to our monthly newsletter where we highlight our partners, followers, Wyrd kids, talk latest books releases, and more. That's at www.wyrdrealities.net.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Watching Wyrd. Alan and I are going solo tonight.
Yeah.
I think Hadley was kidnapped by aliens, and Rich is in the Middle East somewhere about to take down the Iranian nuclear weapons program. So
that or that movie that Devilreaux. I think you're right. I think that took him out.
yeah, believe me, that movie. Well, we'll rip into it, but I hope everyone is doing well. I know that I hope the people listening to us in Maine, I hope everybody up there is safe and fine. Yeah. I've heard they've got him surrounded, so hopefully he's captured or taken out by now.
That's insane, right?
I know. We're having nice weather. It was 75 today, and it's supposed to be 80 tomorrow. Then we're getting hit with then we're going to get hit with that Canadian Arctic cold wave coming through.
It was 40, high was 40 something today. It was chilly. Sun was out though, thank God. Sun will be out tomorrow. Hey Landa, hey Craig. Thanks for joining us. They're trusting Scott and us with the keys to the show tonight.
Landa, I appreciate that you admit you know us. So.
Hey Mike.
Hey Mike.
Yeah, well you're lucky. You couldn't find one of the movies and the other one sucked. Well,
you must have been watching Devilreaux.
Yep.
All right, let's get that one out of the way because that one's going to be a quick, easy disaster. I am feeling better, Lando. I still have a dry cough. So that's why if you hear me coughing or if my throat sounds weird, it's the after effects. Other than that, I'm 100%.
That's you messing with those strange girls, Scott. That's why they get you.
Yeah. No, I got other diseases from that. But
oh, Mike said he couldn't find Devilreaux. Oh,
you are lucky, Mike. You would have had more entertainment if you turned on any of the infomercials at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Mike, you didn't like Cabin in the Woods?
I know. That's a good flick. Maybe he got the knock at the cabin instead.
Maybe.
Well, Scott, let's give us the breakdown on this one.
No. You do Devilreaux. I pick Cabin in the Woods. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is Devilreaux. The poster is the best thing about this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't even capture that look in the movie of that voodoo priestess's son's spirit, whatever. This one starts out, you got this couple in this voodoo shop in New Orleans, and they're joking around, and there's like a cowbell that summons Devilreaux, and the guy knocks down this bunch of cowbells or whatever, and I guess it summons Devilreaux. I really didn't get this part. Anyway, Devilreaux shows up, and he kind of looks like the poster there, but not as cool. And he's got a shovel. This is the thing he was killed with, was a shovel, so he uses it to kill his victims. So he kills the couple in the voodoo shop. It's really stupid. I love this part where the gal goes, I'm going to go upstairs, and she goes like in the next room, but it's not upstairs, and it's just the continuity of this is really horribly shot. Hey, bud, really horribly shot. So this movie is, say hi, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
All righty. I gotta go, buddy. Sorry, guys. I had to have my little buddy in here. Anyway,
I got my little buddy who always interrupts, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's about this voodoo priestess's son, spirit Devilreaux, that comes back to kill this bloodline of the people that killed him. You know, and the acting is, like Landis said, is horrible. I think that one guy at the beginning, the white guy that got killed, that was having dinner with the detective, the horrible detective chick, looked like she should be in a different movie than this one.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. I think his acting was probably the best in the whole movie. And Tony Todd. But it's just about voodoo revenge on this bloodline from the slave days. And it drives this point, the racism part, home with a nuclear weapon. I mean, it overdoes it. You know, the movie had kind of if they got rid of all the junk, you'd probably have a good 30-minute movie there. And better actors, get rid of those actors, get new actors in. Tony Todd, you know, Candyman, Night of the Living Dead reboot. He's only in it for like 5 minutes, and he's like top billed.
Yeah.
And, you know, he does Tony Todd acting, you know. But the sets, everything's horrible in this movie. It just sucks. And the ending sucks.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't have to pay for this, Scott.
Yes.
And any of you that had to pay for it, Hadley said that she'll gladly send you guys a check to pay for your pay-per-view.
She doesn't know that yet. But.
Yeah, she doesn't know it yet. She picked this movie off a list. I got to say off a list. She picked it off a list. This movie sucked. There's nothing good about it. What say you, Scott?
It had potential and it fell flat. The writing was horrendous. The acting was, I'm not even going to call it acting. I mean, there was no acting skills whatsoever. The makeup for Devilreaux was good.
But it wasn't as good as a poster, though.
No, but the one thing I did not like about this movie was the blatant racism. You know, granted, I can understand the slave owner in the scenes going back to pre-Civil War being a complete ass. But then you jump ahead to like the 1920s, where one of these guys who's one of the this black gentleman who's working for them, not as a slave, he's hired, is talking with the white guy's wife, and him and 5 or 6 of his friends get upset and just beat him to death with a shovel. It was like, no, it just, to me, that was like, that turned me off even more. But it sucked. I would not waste my time watching this. You know, I wouldn't even tie terrorists to chairs and make them watch this until they talk. I would probably violate the Geneva Convention. There's nothing good about this movie. Don't watch it. Don't waste your time. I'm giving this a 0.3.
Yeah, well, like Landis said, that cop should have been in a women's prison movie.
Oh my God. I mean, she was the worst actress among them. Yeah, she would have been great in one of those like Ilsa, she bitch of the
SS,
she bitch of Alcatraz. But
Mike, if you paid $99 for this movie, I'm sorry.
No, that's just how much he's going to ask Hadley for.
Yeah. I give this a 0. It was a waste of my time. I want that time back. And, you know, it's like an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
You know, and I don't mind watching a horrible movie if it's meant to be funny. Like Thanksgiving or something like that.
Right.
This movie was meant to be serious.
Yeah.
And it just fell flat on its face.
You know, like I said, you could condense it into 30 minutes, new actors, you know, and it probably would have been a good Twilight Zone night gallery, Outer Limits, episode. But it sucked. And now I know why Rich isn't here, because it almost killed him.
No, there was nothing. I mean, she wasn't even like overly attractive.
No.
She wasn't in there because, she was like a 44D and great legs. It was
just she looked sleazy,
Yeah. She looked like a strung out drug addict that became a cop.
Yeah.
Yes, Ash, you do not want to watch that one. Trust me.
No. This is probably one of the worst movies that we've had this year, just because it was made earnestly. To you know what I mean? There was no wink and a nod. It was straightforward, hey, we got this going. And it just came out bad.
Yeah. So it's probably the worst rate. I think that based on Fred, stop it. Lay down.
You gotta move the peanut butter.
I should. Based on ours, I'm sure Rich would probably give it like a negative 0.3. And since Hadley picked it, we'll have to ask her next week what her thoughts on it were.
Right. Well, I know Rich had erased that movie and then
I know.
He's like, never again.
No. Now I'm surprised. My pick, Cabin in the Woods. I'm surprised how many people didn't like that. I mean, maybe we're talking a different movie. Mine is The Cabin in the Woods with Chris Hemsworth.
Right.
In which the cabin it looks a lot like The Evil Dead. And these 5 people go to the cabin, and it's typical. Chris Hemsworth, gorgeous, macho, arrogant, dumb as a box of rocks. You got the slutty girl. You got the girl who's not slutty. You've got, you got the guy who's geeky. The difference is, and this is why I love this movie, I thought it was ingenious. The cabin itself is just sort of like a studio. Yeah. And it sits over with one of these old ones is. And the world there's several of them throughout the world. And the world has agreed, we will feed you sacrifices, as long as, to keep you satisfied. And like once a year, all these, they bring 5 kids to the cabin and to be sacrificed. 4 will die. The last one, the virginal one, it's up to the gods whether they die or not. And what's funny is I know you've all seen the meme with the guy standing in front of the board, making like, who had solar eclipse, for this. They all bet on it because there's a basement. And the basement has all sorts of things. So depending what you pick up, depends on what demon you get. So if you pick up like the kid's toy, you get the psychotic little child. You pick up this, you'll get murder zombies.
Right.
And in this one, what did they pick up?
I'm trying to remember. It's outrageous.
Yeah. They pick up something and everybody's betting on what's going to happen. So they pick it up and I think it's murder zombies. And they send them in and people start getting killed. And they think, okay, let's get out of there. And there's this like one scene where Chris Hemsworth they blow up the bridge so they can't escape. So Chris Hemsworth, who's got a motorcycle, is going to jump the ravine. And as he jumps the ravine, he hits something and like the whole sky just flashes like it's a bad computer screen, and he crashes to the valley below. It's encircled. They can't get out. So they go back to the house, and the main female and the main star wind up going underground. And this is what I love. Everything downstairs is in cages. So whatever they picked up, the cage is sent up. And some of the creatures are just absolutely bizarre. My favorite scene is the scene when they're in the control room, the military guys are coming down the hallway, and all of a sudden the 8 elevators open up.
Yeah.
And 8 different creatures come. I watched that on slow motion, like for 5 minutes, just to see all the creatures. I like it. It's different. You go into this thinking, oh, it's going to be your typical Evil Dead, cabin fever. the whole concept of a federally funded government program to sacrifice the old one, with the people inside so desensitized to the whole thing that they're betting on what the kids will choose to kill themselves.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought the acting was okay. I mean, it was an Academy Award. Special effects were great. I thought it was a unique. The first time I saw it, I was laughing so hard at some of those creatures. To me, I thought it would be a nice movie to go with Devilreaux. Of course, I could have picked Thanksgiving 2, and that would have been better than Devilreaux.
This is a great palate cleanser, though, Scott. So, I mean, I'm glad you did. It made it worthwhile. I love this movie because it turns the whole thing on its head.
Yeah.
The jock's not the jock. The slut's not the slut. Yeah. The stoner guy is more than, he's actually athletic, and the cast in this is just great, and you got Richard Jenkins and Bradley Whitford, two great actors as the guys in the control room, that are making all the bets, who's going to live and who's going to die, and he's got fangs now. He's got fangs.
It's Count Dracula, blah, blah, blah.
But and he's got an extra eyeball. There we go.
He's keeping an eye.
But he, the whole thing of this turning, love you. The whole thing of this, turning upside down is great. It makes the movie really work.
Mike, I'm sorry, Mike.
I love this movie.
The merman is in it at the very end.
Yeah.
When the last of the federal guys, when you hear him say, "Oh shit," I mean, when you hear him swear, that's because the merman is coming in to kill him.
Yeah, I like the assortment of monsters they had, Scott.
Yeah, and like if you watch the elevator scene, it is so great because there are so many monsters coming out of there, ripping the guys apart.
And then you had Sigourney Weaver show up.
Yes, yes.
So this is great. I think it's a fan favorite. I don't know if it made any money when it came out. Do you know?
Let me check on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it did or not, but
I know it became a cult classic.
Mm-hmm. Because you're watching it and it's not what you think it is, and you're like, oh, okay, because you're just getting ready for the usual Friday the 13th, Evil Dead,
exactly.
And it turns into something else. And the guys joking and stuff are great.
I did not realize this, which is one of the reasons why I understand now. Joss Whedon wrote it, was one of the writers.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And one of the guys working down there, Bradley Whitford, his character's name is Hadley. Go figure that.
Let me see. Let's see. It was released April 13th, 2012. It had a budget of $30 million.
Oh, wow.
30 million. Well, I guess the CGI. It made 42 million in the States and 70 million worldwide.
Okay.
So yeah, it did pretty well. I like it. I know some of you are hating on that movie. It's one of my favorites. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Well, it had a bunch of Buffy and Angel actors in it too from Josh Whedon's series. Amy Acker and
all right. I thought she
Tom Lake. Yeah. So he likes to include his people in there. What'd you give it, Scott?
I give it a 4.5.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4.5 too. Definitely. Yeah, Mike, Sigourney Weaver was the lady talking to the survivors at the end. She was the head honcho.
Yeah.
And her death scene was pretty good.
She does some great cameos.
Yeah.
I mean, and she had probably the most comic scene in the whole movie.
Yeah. Yeah, she shows up in a lot of movies. You know?
With bit roles, and that's what's funny. You don't expect her to be in it, and all of a sudden, like the last 5 minutes, hey, there's Sigourney.
Yeah. Now this one's worth. If you haven't seen this one,
yes, Mike. Sigourney Weaver was the woman who came in at the end,
yeah,
and explained the whole thing, and then she wound up before she could kill them. She wound up being sacrificed.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you haven't seen this one, watch it. It's a lot of fun. It really is, especially when they get to the part with all the monsters and stuff. That's the best part, I think, of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's some, and if you watch it, freeze frame when he's standing in front of the whiteboard to read some of them. I mean, isn't there like one monster there, like just Jeff?
Yeah. It's like, oh, what's that? What one is that? No, this one's a lot of fun.
Yes, Londa, I love Paul.
Oh, that's right. She was.
That is one of my favorite Alien movies.
That's right. She was in Paul.
Yeah,
I've seen her in a couple of other movies that weren't horror movies that she made appearances in too. So she doesn't mind that, and that's a lot of fun, especially to movie fans like us.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you picked this one because
thank you.
That Devilreaux, that was a hard one to.
Yeah.
I mean, did anyone else see it? I know Landa saw like 10 minutes of it, she said, which is more than enough torture. But
so now I've got my work cut out for me to find a movie even worse than Devilreaux. But I will.
Oh,
so since it's only the two of us, Al and I were going to just chat about some other movies we've either seen or that are coming out that we want to see. I'm going to tell you, tonight, my sister and I took my niece, her best friend, and my nephew to see Five Nights at Freddy's. It's worth it. It's worth it. Now, I thought it was a little slow. My niece and nephew said, no, it's perfect. It matches the game perfectly. There's some minor changes to it, but it stays true to the spirit of the game. They absolutely adored it. Let's see. And I mean, there was a lot of people there. After the movie, we were all laughing. There was like about 5 or 6 of them laughing and joking together, which you usually don't see at a movie. It was good, but I'll tell you, I'm not giving anything away. I did not see the surprise ending. That hit me, and when it hit me, I was like, holy shit, that made the whole movie for me.
Is there an scenes or anything like that?
Is there what?
Any after credit scenes?
There's not after credit. Well, there's a scene after, how they run like the main actors and the director. There's a little after scene. But if you are a huge fan of the series, I mean, I never played it. I don't know. But if you're a huge fan of the series, stay to the very end. That's all I'll say.
I'm intrigued. I think it's going to be on Peacock soon. I was looking at it, and I think Peacock's running it. So,
yeah, it's definitely worth it. The acting is great in it. It's PG-13. So you don't get to see a lot of gory deaths, but my nephew told me they've got an R-rated version they're going to release in a month or 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it is definitely worth it. Go see it. If you've got family members, young kids that are huge Five Nights at Freddy's fans, everybody in that theater who was a fan of the graphic novel and the video games loved the movie. So
that's saying something, because a lot of times people are like, it's not like the game. You found that with Resident Evil and
oh God, I liked Resident Doom.
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a horrible.
It's on its own. You know what I mean? It's not really a Doom movie. It's more of a they threw in the first person shooter part to be like the game.
Yeah.
But that, I don't know. It's a rock movie. With
not one of his good ones, but definitely I recommend it. And again, if you've got like, younger family members who are like, is it going to be any good? If they like the games, they'll probably love the movie.
Does it have anybody notable in it? Do you know, or no?
The only person I remember, and he's not in it for a long time, he's got some scenes in the beginning, is Matthew Lillard from Scream and Scooby-Doo.
Oh, okay.
I think I probably got his name wrong.
I know you're talking about.
He's in it at the beginning, and he's awesome in it. He doesn't have much scenes, but he's awesome. And the other actors were good. I mean, the little girl, Abby, who was completely new to the franchise, she did a great job as acting.
Oh, good.
Oh, and I was also told by my nephew that the animatronics are really animatronics. Really? They made the 5 life-size animatronics from animatronics, not CGI and not actors. So they moved and had that feel of realism.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna have to check that one out, definitely.
You'll like it. You'll like it.
Oh, good. Is it like the Banana Splits movie or Five Nights or
yes,
what's that one?
It reminds me a lot of the Banana. I said that to my niece, and she reminded me that the Banana Splits was a ripoff of Five Nights at Freddy's. Wow. And I'm like, no, that was the Banana Splits were my age. And she's like, no, you don't argue with us. The Banana Splits ripped off Five Nights at Freddy's. God created Five Nights at Freddy's on the 5th day. That's why it's Five Nights at Freddy's. The fans of this movie, the fans of this game series are really devoted. I mean, my nephew and my niece loved it. And when they said 8 years ago they were making a movie out of it, they freaked. It was like everybody's been waiting 8 years for this. And there were cosplayers too.
Oh, really?
There was like about 15 people dressed up like characters from the movie. Wow. Including my niece, my nephew, and my niece's best friend, which I'll be posting later tonight online.
Well, I didn't know it was that big. I knew it was big, but I didn't know it was that big.
Yeah, well, for people like us who don't play the video game, to me, I went into it completely blind.
Yeah.
But I was listening to the kids and that around me, and they loved it.
Well, I just know all the the game, just seeing the game out there and all the product tie-ins to it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing I know. So I'll have to check it out. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be on Peacock soon, so I'll have to definitely watch it there.
Yeah, like there was one scene, and I'm not going to give it away because it's a fun surprise, but there's one scene when they started, everybody was laughing. And I had no idea why. And when I asked them later, why was everybody laughing at this scene? My niece said, oh, that character, and then explained to me who the actor was.
Oh, wow.
So for Five Nights at Freddy fans, it was a riot. For people like me, it was just like, who's that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Scott's recommendation, Five Nights at Freddy's. I've got one. I'm watching right now, or rewatching the first season. 30 coins. It's on Max, HBO Max. It's a Spanish horror series, and it's in English subtitles. There's a season 2 that's coming up. That's out right now with Paul Giamatti's in it. So I'm hoping it'll be an English dub in it instead of having to read everything. But it's good. It's a gonzo, straight bloody skin, everything in this one. It's a supernatural. It's really cool. It deals with the coins that Judas was paid to to betray Christ and the power that they have, and it's really a neat series. So if you feel like reading and seeing horror, this is worth watching. Season 1 was good. I haven't heard anything about season 2. There's your sidekick.
Yes. Oh. He's rubbing his head against me. Say hi. Say hi to the audience.
Hey, Fred.
All right.
But you got anything else, Scott?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. 30 coins is okay. I'm trying to think. The previews coming out, there wasn't that much in it. They got a new Aquaman movie, boring as hell. Looks at, of course, Aquaman is the least favorite in the DC universe. They've got a new Marvel movie coming out, which has got kind of a good concept, but the previews, nobody got excited about it. There is one movie coming out that's a comedy that really piqued my interest. Argyle with John Cena and
Henry Cavill and
no, I'm laughing at Ash's comment. Maybe if you didn't yell at him, he wouldn't piss in your shoes.
Oh, yeah.
It's got Henry Cavill, John Cena, and Dallas Bryce Howard. You had me at Dallas. I think she's so pretty. She is a espionage writer, and she's very popular. And then all of a sudden, from what I got, John Cena plays like when she's talking, she's writing the scenes. He's the character in the book, and he plays John Cena perfectly. But all of a sudden, hitmen come after her, and this retired CIA officer, Cavill, comes to help her because apparently one of her books, just by sheer chance, was based on reality. And now everybody's trying to shut her up. So she's got this one, and there's a fight scene they showed in the fight scene on the train that looked like a John Wick fight scene, but it was all comedy. So
now, I'm trying to find. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, it's got a shit ton of people, and it's got Henry Cavill, Sam Jackson,
yes,
Bryce Dallas Howard, like you said,
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston, Kathleen O'Hara. She got to be 100 years old now. She looks the same.
Oh, okay. That's who she was. I knew she looked familiar.
Sam Rockwell. I'll watch anything with Sam Rockwell in it.
Yeah.
He's great.
Now, it looks really fun. It's perfectly tongue. It's like Red, those movies. It's just, but it looked really good. But other than that, there were really no other movies that caught my interest.
Well, the superhero burnout is just.
Yeah.
I watched the Blue Beetle the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just it looked funny, and it was funny, but I wouldn't have dropped $50 to, for me and Tina to go see it. I wouldn't have. No, it just, I don't know. It had some funny parts in it, but it just, I don't know. I think I'm burned out on superhero movies.
Marvel never did a good one after Endgame.
I liked Ragnarok. I thought Ragnarok was pretty good.
Yeah, but Ragnarok was before.
Was it before Endgame? Okay.
Yes. Oh, that's one of my favorite. I love Jeff Goldblum in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so fun, especially at the end. Okay, we had a successful revolution. I mean, you couldn't have a revolution without somebody to revolt against. We'll call it a time.
Do you have the Disney? Do you have Disney?
No, I don't. But I think my sister-in-law does.
Well, I think you can find him on YouTube. There's little shorts with him playing that character.
Oh my god!
And he's got like a roommate that's a regular person that he's moved in with. And
oh my god!
They're hilarious.
Oh, I gotta do that. He's another one. He was such a serious actor, and now he doesn't take himself seriously, and that's what I love about him.
Yeah. Oh, he was always so good in Jurassic Park. The screaming, and now the screaming. He was great. But yeah, you're right. Except for Guardians. I love Guardians. I do love Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 were fantastic. I saw the third one, and I wasn't as impressed.
Oh, yeah?
Because it focused mostly on Rocket.
Yeah.
And while it really gives you a good thing about his background, it's more of a Rocket Raccoon than a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah, and that's probably the last one with all those characters together. So
I think both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was in Home Alone. Catherine O'Hara was the mom in Home Alone and Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, she's in a ton of. She's from Second City TV, and she seems to never age. You know, and she's in that series people like Schitt's Creek or whatever.
Oh, okay.
In that, I've never watched it, but I know people love it.
Now I know that next week, November 1st, I'm taking my nephew. Him and I are Godzilla fans, and this kid knows more about Godzilla than I do, which is like scary. Godzilla 2000, the one that when Toho decided to forget everything from like the fight, from like Godzilla raids again up to like the smog monster, and then it was Godzilla 2000. It's being shown in the original Japanese at certain theaters, so we're gonna go see that November 1st.
Oh, what do you think?
And then we're waiting for December 1st because him and I want to see so badly Godzilla -0. I mean Godzilla -1. So,
well, what do you think of this new series that's coming out about the Monarch?
I am interested in that. I like the Monarch Godzilla. I like Godzilla King of the Monsters. I wasn't too thrilled with the first Godzilla when he was fighting the Mujo or Muto. The one when he goes up against Ghidorah, I thought was fantastic. It's one of my favorite. Hated King Kong, Godzilla versus Kong. Too much Kong, not enough Godzilla. But I'm interested in this series, and it's got Kurt Russell. So
Kurt and Wyatt Russell playing.
Yes, both him and his son. Yeah,
it looks good.
It does.
It really does. It'd be cool if they got Tom Hiddleston. Brought him back for a flashback episode or something. Him and I don't know, Captain Marvel or whatever her name is. Focus on the 60s.
Now, Mike, yes, I loved Ultraman in the 1960s. I never watched the new stuff. I used to my mother gave me like one of the toilet tissue rolls, and I used to run around in the backyard, and then pretend that I was Ultraman.
I like their uniforms. They had those really skin tight uniforms with the ties and the visor helmets. I love that show.
Ultraman was great, but the monsters were just so horrible. Yeah. It's just sort of like they took somebody from, you got 24 hours, to make a monster. Let's take a Godzilla head, put it on a Ghidorah body.
Yeah, right. But you couldn't wait to get home from school to watch that.
Oh, yes.
It's like, oh, man, this is great. Yeah, and people would die, not so much the Ultra Force or whatever, but people would die. Speed Racer was the same way.
Oh, I loved as a kid. You could not keep me away from Speed Racer, Ultraman, Gigantor, the giant robot, and Lost in Space.
Oh yeah. We had some great shows.
Yeah, and then I hadn't seen Lost. I thought it was the best show ever made. Then, like about 40 years later, I found it on a TV station and started watching it. Oh my God, it's so horrible, but it's still fun. And I'm sorry, I used to didn't like Don West. Now I agree with them. They should have just put Smith in the airlock and blown him.
Oh yeah, I like that he was always trying to kill off or leave Dr. Smith. I thought, yes, do it. He's screwing everybody up.
Well, the one thing about the show, I still enjoy the first season where Dr. Smith is the treacherous bad guy. And you see the slow, he starts to like the family and he tries to save their life and he sends the robot. Then all of a sudden, second season, they're wearing these 1960s hipster uniforms and Dr. Smith is, the pain.
Yeah. Well, what was it? Journey to the Bottom of what was that one? With the novelist?
To the Bottom of the Sea.
Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Land of the Giants. All those were like that,
I never really got into Land of the Giants. I loved Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. And I loved the movie, but I loved the movie for one main reason. Barbara Eden in a Navy uniform.
Well, Land of the Giants was a weird show. I didn't get into it either, but I did have a model of their ship, Yeah. But it was weird. That was a weird show.
Another one that was pretty good was the Time Travelers.
Yes.
There was I was at a convention about 13 years ago, and one of the keynote people was the wife of Irwin Allen.
Oh, wow.
And she showed a 2-hour pilot for a new time travelers that never took off. But it was brilliant because I don't remember why they sent them. They sent them back to World War II. They brought them back, but something happened. And when they came back, the entire timeline had changed. Ooh. Like the guy who, the main star who'd gone, left his wife and kids, came back and he was single. The only person who knew what the old timeline was the woman in charge who was in a special control room protected from the rays. And the whole concept of the show was she was going to keep on sending them back to fix the timeline.
That's interesting.
And then they did an hour Lost in Space that was made for teenagers. Oh, Dawn West, Dawn West is like 22 and Judy Robinson's about 19, and it was horrendous.
What'd you think of the new Lost in Space series?
I liked it. I especially liked the way, I can't think of the actress's name, the way she played Dr. Smith.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's a comedic actor.
Yeah. She was also the she was the alien in Men in Black 2, wasn't she?
Oh, I don't know.
Now I gotta look it up.
Yeah, I don't know. But they really
I enjoyed the series. I thought it was a good take. I love the way she played Smith as a psychotic.
Yeah. No, it was the way they put together was great. I thought. Do they have one more season or is it done?
I think they've got the one more season they're working on now. Let's see.
Yeah, no.
Is she? Parker Posey.
Parker Posey.
Yeah, Parker Posey. She did a fantastic job on that.
Yeah. No, that was a good series.
Yeah,
that's one of the few reboots of old series that actually was good,
Yeah. Well, let's see now. Mike is talking about Knight Rider, never watched, Magnum PI, The Brady Bunch. God, that show just breaks me up. Greg is smoking a cigarette.
I always wanted to be a Brady or a Partridge when I was that age.
Oh God, I remember the Partridge Family. Wild Wild West. Yes, Mike. And Get Smart. What my second wife asked me, our first year of marriage, what is the most accurate, like of all the movies in that, what do you think is the most accurate for the way the CIA really is? And I thought about it and I said to it, Get Smart. Because some of the stupidity that we did.
Did you ever see the Nude Bomb movie?
Yes.
That was horrible.
Missed it by that much. You understand that, Max? I got almost everything. What didn't you get? Everything after. Now listen carefully.
You know what I've been watching on Tubi lately is Gilligan's Island.
Oh.
And some of it's funny. I mean, Gilligan, he's an idiot, but he was sarcastic. Oh, what do you got?
Keep on. Oh, okay. He's chewing one of his toys.
Well, I thought you had Gilligan's hat or the skipper's hat or something.
No. I finally figured out why, everybody says, the professor could make, nuclear weapons from coconuts and couldn't fix the boat. Of course. He was stranded on an island with Mrs. and Mrs. Howell. They were madly in love. Gilligan and the skipper, which I think were little buddies, stuck on there with Mary Ann and Ginger. Would you want to get off the island? And Bethany joined us. Hi, Bethany.
Hey, Bethany. That show is so racist. They had a white actor playing a Japanese guy, and
yes,
that Japanese episode, where in the mini sub.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Vito Scotti. But And I still, every once in a while, I still remember Harold Hecuba.
Yes.
I have to be or not to be. Da, 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 da. It was a good
Wrong Way Feldman.
Yes, it was a good show.
It's fun, and it's kind of innocent, but it's not, because there's some jokes in there, and you're like,
you couldn't get away with it today. Yeah, the way Vito Scotti played the Japanese World War II veteran.
Yeah,
but Mike, I love watching old sitcoms. Just sometimes to see the actors who were no one that made it big. Like, I love Night Court. Night Court was one of my favorites. I love John Larroquette as Dan Fielding. I never knew it until I started to rewatch it. Remember the redneck that came into the court? He was so popular, they brought him in. Do you know who the redneck was? Brent Spiner.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's a crazy role for him.
Hang on. Out of here. I can't let you go. You're a convict. Come here.
Oh.
I wouldn't mind, but he barks at the cat. He loves Archer. He cuddles with Archer. They play. He goes up to my mother's room, ignores her two cats. He barks at Michonne. I don't know why.
He wants that attention.
Now
they rebooted Night Court.
Yes, and it's actually I only saw season 1. I got to start to watch season 2. It's actually pretty good.
That's what I heard. I haven't seen it.
It's the first season. It's new, so it's good. But they kept the same setting, and what I was afraid they weren't going to do, but they did, was they have these insane these insane like people coming in for the court, which was the biggest part of Night Court.
Oh yeah.
And Melissa Rauch plays it's either the judge's daughter or granddaughter, who they'd been separated for a while. They had a falling out, and he passed away, and now she wants to take over to try to be like him and learn what he was doing. But it was fun. Oh, and in this one, Dan Fielding he's not the prosecutor, he's the defense attorney. And
he's like the only one left alive of the main cast, I think. John Larroquette.
Yeah. Bull is gone. Marky Post.
Harry Anderson, he's gone.
Yeah. He's alive. And he still does a lot of movies. He's great.
He did that voiceover for the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah. I know. When he was nobody back then.
Yeah.
I saw him the other night on an episode of my sister was watching not Married with Children, Three's Company. He played a cop. It was so funny. Oh, and another TV show I loved, Taxi.
Oh yeah, Taxi had a great cast.
Mike, Michonne isn't uppity. She's just a black cat. I think Fred is superstitious. And my favorite character from Taxi was Reverend Jim. Him and what's his name? Jed Hirsch.
Yeah, they're still going, man. And Tony Danza and DeVito.
Yeah.
Right.
We haven't seen much from the cab driver, Louis. I can't think of his name.
Oh, you mean the boss?
Yeah.
Oh, he's on Always Sunny. He's one of the regulars.
Oh, that's right. What's his name? I can't think of it.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah. I love that show. Oh, man, I loved that show when it was on. I thought it was great. What we got?
And I'll tell you, one thing I loved back then, and there's an Instagram account that I'm following, is I'll clip clips from the old Carol Burnett show when when Harvey Korman and Tim Conway were on. The way Tim Conway would just break Harvey Korman up and make him not be able to read his lines for 2 minutes is classic.
That was always great, because they'd all start busting up. I love that show.
Yeah, and he was such a brilliant comedian. You know, he could ad lib. Mike, you're right. Melissa Rauch had the drug problem, which separated them.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Right. Tony Shalhoub.
Shalhoub.
I'm trying to remember what.
He was on Wings, right?
Yeah, he wasn't in Taxi, was he?
I don't think so.
No, it was that Kaufman, Andy Kaufman or something.
Yeah, Andy Kaufman.
Oh, God. I couldn't
stand He was good on Taxi, but I never liked his stand-up.
No. And what was it, the wrestler or somebody who like beat him up on Johnny Carson?
Yeah. Oh, God. What was his name? He had that song Pencil Neck Geek, that wrestler.
I know exactly. I got the name. Was it the wrestler or the manager?
It was a wrestler. It was.
Wait a minute, Greg. Tony Danza in a porno? Oh. Well, I mean, some of them did. Stallone apparently did a porno before he became famous.
Yeah. Yeah, Shalhoub was Monk. That's right.
Ash is right. Yeah, Danny DeVito's now the Jersey Mike spokesman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And Bethany said Tony was Monk, which is, I love that show. They're coming back with a Monk movie with everybody in it.
Oh.
And he played Taxi Driver in Wings. Yeah.
I never watched that. Bethany, those are my two favorite scenes. Tim Conway is the dentist and the elephant story. I love that.
Yeah.
And the other one was when he plays the SS interrogator with Lyle Wagner, and he's got the little doll of Hitler singing, "I've been working on the railroad."
Yeah, that's stuff you couldn't get away with nowadays.
Oh, God, no. Can you imagine, Sanford and Son?
Jerry Lawler.
The Jeffersons. Which one?
Jerry Lawler. Was he the wrestler? Craig says Jerry Lawler.
Maybe.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, he played the taxi driver in Wings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that show.
Good show. That was a good show, too.
Yeah. The guy that played the mechanic. Oh, he's
Captain
great.
Lou Albano. Ash said it's Captain Lou Albano.
Was there? Okay.
Craig says it was Jerry Lawler. I'm thinking Craig might be right.
Yeah, because sounds
Captain
more.
Lou Albano did the oh God, I can't think of her name. The
Cindy.
Cindy Lauper video.
Lauper, yeah. Girls just want to have fun. Albano, stupid.
I know who you meant.
Okay, so Tony Shalhoub was a reoccurring character in Night Court. Oh, okay.
Who did he play in Night Court?
I don't remember, but it's been so long since I've seen that show.
Yeah, because I recently have been watching all the episodes that I could find on one of the TV stations, and I don't remember him.
Yeah, he was in Men in Black. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was the guy who owned the Hawk store.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He's an alien. No, man, those shows though, like somebody mentioned it. I don't know if it's Mike. Yeah, Thomas Hayden Church, Lau, the mechanic in Wings. He was at Tombstone too.
Yes. Yeah, those our childhood. Yeah. Now I sit here and I watch some of the TV shows. I don't watch them. I can't sit through them. It's just so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all reality TV.
Yeah.
Which is not reality TV. It's like when they did Survivor. Okay, you're on an island with an entire cast and crew that has housing, food, water, medical, and you're voted off the island. That's not Survivor. That's like really crappy popularity contest.
And it's got 40 seasons or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, ridiculous.
I've never seen one. I've never seen one season of that. And that's not a boast or anything. I just never had. It was not a show that grabbed me. I'll get into some reality shows, but I like scripted shows. But they're all scripted.
Yeah.
There's no real reality shows.
I've always wanted, if I knew somebody in Hollywood, I would love to do horror in the house. Get 8 horror writers, stick them in the house for 4 weeks, and they all have to write their book in 4 weeks.
Oh, that would be horrible. That would
be
horrifying.
Yes, but I mean, you have to live with each other in all the idiosyncrasies.
Hey, I met Alice Cooper today.
Yes, you mentioned.
It tripped me out. I got a call from one of the residents. Hey, I've got some guests coming in. Can you let them through today? Once I got Alice Cooper and Ryan. And I was like, okay, I thought some poor gals named Alice Cooper,
Yeah.
And then about 2 hours later, they drive up. I open the window and there's freaking Alice Cooper sitting there driving a rental car, looking like Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
He was real nice,
That's good.
I wanted to get a picture, but I'm not going to do that to him. But no, that was pretty cool.
Ash, yes, put a ball aside. I liked Maki Post. I thought she was very attractive, but I loved her character. It's just so laid back.
Didn't she pass a couple years ago, right?
She passed. I think she had breast cancer. I'm not sure. Yeah, she was very young when she passed away.
Yeah, it's weird when you see these people start to,
I like what Mike said. Then at the end of the show, the Horror in the House, their books are published, and whoever gets the most reviews wins the prize.
That sounds good to me. What's the prize? Is it $1 million?
I don't know. But if you're on that show for a season, your books are going to be made into movies.
Well, Scott, see, you would probably win. I would lose.
Why?
Because I couldn't get a book done in 4 weeks.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, but you'd be stuck there. You wouldn't have a job. You wouldn't have family. It would just be 4 weeks of you either hanging around with us or writing.
No social media, right? No social media at all.
Yeah. Or maybe an hour a day because you got to talk to family and,
right.
Post a few Facebooks. Let's see. Bethany said, I may have played a part on Real Housewives and work on Scott from the Kardashians when I were, please. Don't tell me the Kardashians are nice. That'll ruin my image with them. They are the most overrated celebrities in America.
Yep. Weird reality show.
Ooh,
yeah, there we go.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
Weird realities goes to haunted places.
That'd be good. That would be good. Oh, work, Landis. How do you mean worked on?
Bethany, you have a dirty mind.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Bethany, he said, nope, I hit Scott with a nail file. And of course, Ash is like, what kind of spa, Bethany?
Yeah, so Ash is home from he's had a really tough week. It's been horrible at work. So he's blowing off steam right now.
Put your feet up, brother.
Yes.
Have a drink for me.
I'm sorry, Bethany. You're good at your job, but just the idea of you having to do a pedicure on a Kardashian's foot. Oh, you have my sympathy. All right. Well, guys, it is almost 11 o'clock. I do not know what the movie's going to be for next week because we got kicked back a week since we couldn't do this last week. So
we do have coming in November, though, our famous turkey show.
Yes. So I am hoping we can get Thanksgiving. That one looks like it might be good. It's Eli Roth Killed. So, it's this guy that comes to a town and starts killing people off on Thanksgiving, and you don't know why, and he's only going after certain people. So, but if it's Eli Roth, it's got to be good.
Grab your turkey basters and wait with bated breath because we're going to have some fun in November. Definitely. Well, I'm sorry, Ash. I'm sorry you had a bad week.
Yes, I'm going to be watching Pet Sematary Bloodlines hopefully this weekend.
I heard it's good.
This weekend, Saturday, my niece and I are going to Connecticut. There is a Phantasm Con. It's sort of like a paranormal con, but the main reason we're going is the Warren Museum exhibits are going to be on display there in a special room.
Ooh.
Annabelle, all that stuff from the room. So
don't make fun of Annabelle, man.
No, I'm going to go. I want to take pictures. I want to take videos. My niece is very good. She gets in touch. She can speak with the spirit world. She has the sense about it. She's going to deck us down with crystals and salts before we go and then when we come back. So
good.
Thank you, Bethany. I'm glad it was a good show. Londa, you too. Let's see. We will not see you guys until November.
Right.
So everybody, have a great weekend. Have a great Halloween. Enjoy yourselves. Go trick-or-treating. Go to costume parties. Anybody dresses up like a sexy witch or a sexy cat, send me the photos. Unless it's Mike or, Ash. Definitely not Ash.
I was about to say, Scott, I'm going to dress up like a sexy cat. You want me to send you that photo?
Oh, yes.
Hey, I want to add one thing before we leave.
Yes.
October 30th, Halloween Eve, on the Watching Weird Network, your favorite writers, some of you are not your favorite writers, and friends on that network are going to be reading horror short stories. It'll be either theirs or a short story they want to read from somebody else, but it'll be all day long on Halloween Eve.
Halloween Eve? I thought it was Halloween.
No, Halloween Eve.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick 2 of my short stories and I might do The Raven.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fred,
so Scott and I will be there.
Fred doesn't like The Raven. Oh, I'm sorry. Edgar Allan Poe didn't write a book about a rambunctious beagle basset. So
yeah, I guess it's up to you.
So everyone, thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you all next Thursday.
Good night.
Stay weird. I can't find the end stream. There it is.
Ah.